Hello guys and welcome back to another FPL video. My name is Meerkat and today I've got a Game Week 2 team selection for you guys. Now hear me out, I know we haven't even had Game Week 1 yet, but you guys seem to really like the bench boost idea for Game Week 1, and I was going to walk you through what a Game Week 2 wildcard team might look like, which might give you some kind of indication of how risky you want to go for Game Week 1. You might not necessarily want to bench boost in Game Week 1, but if I show you what a Game Week 2 wildcard team looks like, it might give you an idea of how many risks you might want to take in Game Week 1, to know that you can just wildcard to make a team similar to this to see how good it is. In terms of the setup, I'm currently on holiday for the next 5 days, but I've got a little bit of time, a little bit of a break in activities to, I thought I might as well just make a video. To be honest, I wanted to make this video, saw how well the bench boost video did, how much you guys liked that. And yeah, thought I'd get out this bit of content for you. So we're over on FPL Team today, not the official site. FPL Team, absolutely brilliant site. Please go and check it out if you haven't already done so already. I'll leave a link to it in the description. Pete, the guy who's made it, absolutely great guy. Just a super helpful website when it comes to planning. You can basically pick your team for future game weeks to see what it would look like in terms of the fixtures. It's just super handy when it comes to planning for these kind of things. So we're over on the site and we are on Game Week 2 for this team, obviously for the Game Week 2 wildcard team. But I mainly want to talk about, first of all, the fixtures, because this is the main reason why I'm proposing a Game Week 2 wildcard team. Now, there's 3 teams in particular that I really like the look of, who have a poor fixture in Game Week 1, but then a really good fixture in Game Week 2. Now, that is, go on Haaland here, that's Man City in Game Week 1. In fact, let's go on to Game Week 1 first and just show the fixtures. Haaland, away to Chelsea in Game Week 1, but then a really nice 3-game stretch there. Really nice green fixtures, and then 2 rough fixtures here, but then the run is absolutely great. You might not want Haaland in your Game Week 1 team, but you can wildcard him in straight away, which is a potential strategy if you want to just go full risk, full look at the fixtures for Game Week 1, and then get him in for Game Week 2. So Man City asset's really good. Obviously, Chelsea assets really good. That home fixture against Man City, not a really nice one to start off the season, but the run after that, the run of 6 games there, really nice. So you might want to look in getting someone like a Palmer for that run of games. And the third team, sort of going under the radar a little bit here. I can't even seem to find any of their players here, but it's Fulham. Fulham have Man City away as Game Week 1. It is the first game of the season, and they could definitely get a result away to Man United. But the run after that is superb for those 5 games there. Home to Leicester, away to Ipswich, home to West Ham. The Newcastle game a little bit tough, but then away to Forest. And yeah, the fixture's just really nice for that little bit afterwards. So again, players that you might want to get in after that Game Week 1 game. This is basically a fully aggressive strategy to target the Game Week 1 fixtures. You can get all those players with really nice fixtures, like your Arsenals, obviously Liverpool. You can go full force on them, forget about the others, and then wildcard them in to make a really solid team. So, in terms of the team, we're going to leave the goalkeeper for starters. We're going to go by teams. By teams to start off with. So, obviously, Haaland's going to be in this team. I think for this strategy, of course, we're going to need to go to Game Week 2. For this strategy, the reason you do it is because you start off without Haaland. You probably have Salah in the team, maybe another premium. You focus on them with the good fixtures against Ipswich. Obviously, Spurs have a great fixture against Leicester. And then you wildcard in the likes of Haaland, avoiding that tough fixture to start off with and just getting him in straight away and then not really thinking about the rest. Again, this might be a strategy that not many of you like, but I'm hoping some of the ideas that some of you can at least think of in terms of, maybe you don't wildcard, but in terms of reshaping your strategy after Game Week 1. And the main reason why I'm thinking of this strategy in the first place is because of being able to hold your transfers. Being able to hold your transfers past 2 to now 5 is massive, I think. And it means that you can be a lot more aggressive with your wildcard, because you can wildcard into a team that looks great for quite a few weeks, hold up your transfers because you don't really want to make any, and then you've suddenly got loads to use for essentially a mini wildcard. So yeah, Haaland will definitely be in the team, and the other player who's absolutely going to be in the team is Gvardiol, who, again, it's a bit difficult to go for all these premium defenders at the start, but the Arsenal fixtures are just so rough after that first game week. You could then look to get them in at game week 6, but this run of 4 games after the home game against Wolves is pretty tough. Yeah, the home game against Brighton's all right, but the rest of them are pretty tough, and they would be games that you might even bench them in, to be honest. So yeah, Gvardiol definitely going to be in the team, super attacking, hopefully nailed as well for this Man City team as well. Seems to be a player on absolute form. In terms of the Chelsea options, we are going to put in Palmer. It'd be a big reason why you would do the strategy. Again, you missed that really tough fixture against Man City, but then you've got the really, really good ones. And we're actually going to double up here on the attack, and we're going to go for Nkunku as well, who seems to be an absolute steal at the moment if we can guarantee his minutes at that price tag. In terms of a Chelsea defender, Chelsea have just signed a goalkeeper. I do forget the name. Someone in the comments could probably tell me who that is. But it might mean that you want to steer clear of a Petrovic or a Sanchez, and you go for this new guy who might come in at 4.5 and has probably been bought to be their starting goalkeeper. I think about 25 million, I think, was the transfer fee. Will very likely be the starting goalkeeper, as I believe it's the first transfer this new manager has made. So yeah, he could very easily be the starter. In terms of a defender though, basically someone who's just nailed, really, you would be looking for. We'll get a lot more information about who that might be during pre-season, but for the time being, let's go for Cucurella. Let's go for a player with a bit more attacking threat, and has looked very good. Obviously looked very good in the Euros. He might be, actually no, he might be late back. He might be late back from the Euros. So instead we are going to go for, let's just go for Colwill for the time being. But yeah, I definitely have a Chelsea defender in there. In terms of Fulham assets, because they were the third team who their fixtures turn for much better, Muniz, I think, would absolutely be in the team. Again, getting that great run there, home against Leicester. I don't think many people were going to have Muniz in their team. In terms of the free strikers, I don't think Muniz will be in a lot of teams. So yeah, he'd definitely be someone I look at. And defenders, Robinson. I do know that Fulham have just re-signed Ryan Sessegnon, who is a left-back. But Robinson played 37 out of 38 games and was incredibly good, was arguably left back of the season last season. So I'd be very surprised if he's just suddenly dropped. I think he's absolutely nailed and has a level of attacking output as well for a pretty exciting Fulham team, especially if they make some more signings. You could potentially look for a Fulham midfielder. I'm not too sure about which kind of midfielders would be available at this point. Player I completely forgot to get in, by the way. You might be thinking, why isn't there a third City asset in this? Foden. Obviously, Foden's going to go in there. For 9.5 million, it will very likely be good for minutes this season, given De Bruyne is getting on in age, and he's probably not going to be playing as many minutes as he used to. And yeah, he seems to be in his absolute prime right now. Seems to be really, really kicking on. In terms of the third striker, I think Isak still has to be there. A little limitation with this is that Isak will probably be in your team regardless if you're wildcarding or not, which is fine. We don't have to change the entire team here, but I really wouldn't want to go without Isak, especially given those nice fixtures there. They're not the best, actually, now that I look at them. The first few are pretty good, but he'd be there because if you want to make a switch to Watkins, because what we're going to actually, let's do that now. We are going to get a Villa defender. We might get a Villa defender actually, but we're going to definitely get a Villa midfielder. We're going to put Bailey, I think. So we're going to get rid of the midfielder, Bailey, in the team, because after this Arsenal game, which you bring them in, you wildcard them in to bench them for the Arsenal game, brilliant run of fixtures, which would absolutely want a Villa attacker, I believe, a Villa player for certain in this team. So yeah, you could get it for Bailey there. For the goalkeeper, I think we will. Let's go for 4.5 millions here, 4.5. I think, and let's sort by expected points. Let's go for Sales is a nice option, like I went over. Great fixtures there. I think we are going to go instead. Johnston seems to be the site's preferred keeper in terms of the Crystal Palace options there. Not too sure how, well, Crystal Palace defence was really good last season, and it might be a keeper that you just want to keep for the long run. So we'll put Johnston in there for now. Again, a really nice home fixture there. But again, the keeper is some position you can be incredibly flexible with. In terms of a 4.4 million, a 4 million goalkeeper, it's not going to matter too much. In terms of who that is, we're just going to go for, let's go for Virginia there. Again, doesn't really matter about the 4 million goalkeeper because you're going to have the Crystal Palace, you're going to have a 4.5 million or just a starting goalkeeper in net. In terms of a defender, yeah, let's go for Konza. Crystal Palace. A Villa defender, I think, is a really nice option to have on the bench for these extremely good fixtures here. And then we're going to be a bit tight on money, aren't we? For another defender, let's have a 4 million defender in here. We're going to go for Harwood Bellis. And then we've got 5.5 million for the last spot. I think I know who I'd like to go for in terms of a 5.5 million option. But let's see in terms of expected. Yeah, I think Nottingham Forest fixtures are still really good. So I think we're going to go for Hudson-Odoi in this spot here. And then, yeah, that would be what the team looks like for game week 2. You'd pivot out of your players like your Arsenals. There isn't any Liverpool in this team as well. You could, if you wanted Liverpool, you'd probably want the likes of a Salah, maybe a Trent. In terms of making up the funds, you could remove Palmer here, go for Salah. And then you need to make up another 2 million. So in terms of doing that, maybe Isak goes, maybe Foden goes to a Gordon. That could be how you do this one. And then you've got the double up on the Newcastle attack here. Sorry, my dog is wanting to get out. So yeah, if you wanted Salah in your team, that's how you could make up the funds. I would really go hard on the fixtures here. Just the teams that have really good fixtures. I mean, to be honest, Liverpool's is also really good, so you might not want to go without Salah. I think we'll pop in Salah just for this draft here. It's quite difficult to fit in because obviously, so this is now a Salah and Haaland draft. Getting in Salah and Haaland and then one of the other premium midfielders, if you want to have the likes of a Gvardiol on the team, if you still want Isak in your team, that's going to be where you have a little bit of trouble fitting in all of these assets. But again, if you then move to the next game week, yeah, it's a little bit tough there for maybe the Newcastle and the Liverpool assets there, but you can bench them quite easily. You can play your Villa assets there. You'd obviously then hold for that week. You'd roll. Then you move on to the next week, and yeah, you bench your Hudson-Odoi there for that tough game. Again, the rotation just works really nicely, and this entire time you can hold your transfers. Obviously, you might want to bench Gvardiol for that. It's a really nice fixture for Southampton, but again, it's Gvardiol versus a Southampton defender. So again, you've got a lot of flexibility there. My point being, it's okay to be aggressive with your game week 1 team if you then want to wildcard in game week 2, because the game week 2 wildcard team looks very good and you can hold all of these transfers for quite a long period of time if you wildcard into a very good team. You could also just make a really good team for game week 1 and then just hold your team all the way through there. That's absolutely fine. I just think there's quite a heavy pivot in terms of the fixtures that a game week 1 team might not score that well if you want it to look really good for the long term, unless you've got the likes of Liverpool in there. There's obviously like Spurs assets. I mean, looking at Spurs fixtures, right? If we go to game week 1, for Spurs assets, really to like first fixture's really good. Home against Everton is all right. Away to Newcastle's tough. Home to Arsenal's tough. They've got away to Man United as well. The fixtures aren't great, so it might just be you want to take that punt for that away Leicester game, and then you get rid of them all for game week 2. So it's a hyper aggressive strategy. It's probably not going to be recommended by many of the experts on here, but if you're someone looking for a little bit of a fun, little bit of a different strategy here, I've got you covered basically with this kind of stuff. But yeah, that's going to wrap it up for this video. I hope you have all enjoyed. Please keep subscribed to the channel. Get subscribed to the channel, I should say, for more of the weekly content. I will have my, when I do my team selection for each game week, I will be going over my league, my new format. If you want to go and check out my Twitter in terms of the code for that, please get yourself registered into that league. I'm giving away prizes like I did last year for the top score in the mini league, and then I'll run the team of the game week thing, and then at the end of the season, whoever's top of that leaderboard again will also get a prize. So go check that out if you're interested. Get subscribed if you're liking the content on here, and I'll see you in the next FPL video.